many years ago, as the story goes, during a routine visit to one of the company's stores, Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks, learned that an employee, they were also called partners, had a family emergency, and couldn't afford the time to take care of loved ones. And so, moved by the partner's story, Schultz didn't just offer immediate help. He began to rethink how Starbucks could better support its employees. And this led to the introduction of a comprehensive benefits package, including health insurance for part-time workers, which at the time was an unheard of practice. And here's the thing, this would go on to shape the company's culture, its relationship with employees for decades. This story exemplifies the fourth aspect of our journey through these 4-part series episodes on transformational leadership, individualized consideration. The very fourth installment as we are on today. If you haven't listened to the first 3, I would encourage you to do so. The first episode was on this concept of knowing who we are in our idealized influence when it comes to our beliefs, our values, moving into inspirational motivation, how we communicate a compelling vision. And then, of course, the third aspect of the journey is once we've done that, we want to intellectually stimulate our followers so that they can challenge the status quo. And the very last stop in this journey is individualized consideration. Transformational leaders are known for their ability, of course, to inspire, motivate, and intellectually stimulate. But these leaders are also recognized for knowing that each person in their organization, each person in their family, each person in their community has unique needs, aspirations, unique challenges. And so individualized consideration is just that. It's consideration that is individualized. It's about understanding, it's about addressing these differences and fostering an environment where each person feels valued and each person feels supported. So we're going to talk through that today. We're going to delve into individual consideration. We're going to look at real-world examples from business, from family, from community settings. And we're going to explore how this aspect of leadership can transform not only the organization, one organization, any organization, but personal and community relationships. We'll look at some counter arguments, we'll look at some challenges, and when we look at it under the entire umbrella of transformational leadership, we can find that it creates a holistic approach to effective leadership. So, when we're talking about individualized consideration, we're looking at the unique qualities of each individual. And we as leaders have to understand our people. We have to understand those who we are called to lead, to guide. We have to provide personalized encouragement. We have to offer opportunities for personal growth if we want to be truly effective transformational leaders. Because those of us who practice individualized consideration, we act as mentors, as coaches. We help our followers reach possibly their full potential. Wow, wouldn't that be so cool? Think of someone in your life who has given you individualized consideration, who has paid attention to your individual needs, who has paid attention to your aspirations, who has provided feedback, not just any feedback, but tailored to you. Someone who has provided support that's very specific to your circumstances. Someone who has seen beyond the group and understands you as an individual. If you've ever experienced this level of care and attention, I am convinced that it has the ability, or has had the ability in your own life and my life, to foster deep commitment, increased and deeper engagement, and enhanced your overall performance. For me, when I was working on my undergraduate degree. I was working on my business degree, and I had a mentor who was not only focused on the grander education of all the students, but cared deeply for each individual student's experience. I was taking a finance class, and I was going through the different concepts of finance, and you think finance is so boring, but this instructor made it real because I had a business. I went back to school when I was in my late 20s, 27, 28, and I had done an associate's degree when I was a teenager, just out of high school, and then I quit for a while. I was done. I wanted to see the world and do my own thing, start my business. And when I was a little older and I matured and I was ready to be more stable, I got back in. I had already been a business owner. And this professor was connecting the dots for me individually from my business and my life in the financial world. And man, I was so engaged. I was so focused. My performance increased. Have you ever had anyone like that in your life? Have you ever been that to someone? That is transforming. I've never forgotten that. I mean, that was 20 years ago. And so there's a wonderful journey in that. Now, you might say, Nate, how do you balance that? I mean, how do you balance individualized consideration with broader needs of an organization? And it's true. You might say, if you focus too much on individual needs, you can take away or detract from the collective goals. And you can create even worse, you can create inconsistencies in how employees are treated. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to create favoritism. And of course, however, when done correctly, we're going to see that individualized consideration can strengthen the organization as a whole. And when it fits within the boundaries of our values, then we will not show favoritism. We will not give special attention, if you will, but it will be available to all of our team members judiciously and holistically. Going back to the example of Howard Schultz and Starbucks, the decision to provide health insurance for part-time employees was more than just a business strategy. It was an embodiment of individualized consideration. Schultz, he understood that his employees had different needs, and particularly those working part-time who often didn't have access to benefits. So by providing this health insurance, Schultz was not just providing a perk. He was addressing a fundamental need that impacted his employees and their lives and their families. This helped to build a culture of care at Starbucks, where employees felt valued, not just as workers, but as individuals. So then higher levels of employee satisfaction, loyalty, and ultimately it led to better service for customers. Now, Starbucks isn't a perfect company. And just like any, right? They have challenges. And so even the approach is not without its challenges. Maybe some might say, well, offering these benefits are too costly. They could hurt the bottom line. Or they fear that focusing on individual needs might lead to an expectation that a company's always going to focus and meet every personal needs regardless of the cost. That's not what we're talking about. Our commitment to individualized consideration actually can be a long-term investment strategy in the company's success. And again, company or individual families, when people feel valued, they're more motivated and productive. That's a take that one to the bank. So and it can be a number of things. Maybe it's offering flexible work arrangements. I had an employee who said, "Hey, can I work 4/10s and take Friday off for the summer because my kids are home from school?" Sure, we can make that work. Now, in some situations, that just doesn't work, but that was an individualized consideration. I offer it to everyone who that made sense for. Providing professional development opportunities. This is what we talked about in the last episode about giving opportunities for learning. And sometimes they can be tailored to individual goals or career goals. Again, you can't know what they are until you know the people who you are called to walk alongside of and guide and lead. So sometimes it's simply being available to listen to employees' concerns. And you say, Nate, I don't have time to do that. Well, you know what? You might not have time to be successful. You and we have to balance these individualized efforts with the organization's overall strategy. We have to give ourselves margin so that we can hear people and understand what their needs are, so that personal support enhances rather than takes away or detracts from the business as a whole. So the same thing works in a family setting. It's just as important. If you've got kids, each of them has personalities that are different, needs that are different. You might have one child who's academically driven, thrives on structure, another child who's creative, free-spirited, doesn't want the structure, flourishes in less structured environments, and yet another one who has potentially learning challenges in certain contexts and traditional contexts who requires more attention, specialized support. Treating your children the same is not going to be effective. We know that. And here's the thing. They're equal, but not the same. Everyone is equal. Men are equal, women are equal, children are equal, but we're all different. And it's okay to be different. Let's tailor our approach to each one of our children's needs. So for the one who needs structure and academic support, provide it. For the one who is creative, enroll in an art class. Give that child freedom to explore those interests. For the one who needs additional support, work closely with the teachers so that the support that is needed is gotten. Boy, these are individual considerations within the family. And each child's development is contingent upon it. Each child's transformation and maturity and growth and health and ability to grow into confident, capable people. That's where it's at. Now, you say, well, Nate, how do I make sure that each child feels equally loved and supported? Because I may be giving them different attention. Yeah, I get it. Because you say, doesn't this also potentially lead to favoritism or some kind of an imbalance within the family? And I'm going to say we have to have open communication. We have to make sure each child understands that their needs are unique but equally important. We have to understand that maybe life isn't about balance. Maybe it's just about harmony and building a masterpiece as you are the conductor, if you will, of your family's symphony. Sometimes you just have to do one-on-one time with each child and say, hey, this is your half hour, this is your half hour, this is your half hour. And you support each of those different interests and hobbies. Wow, boom. Sometimes it's just listening or responding. If you are just listening and responding appropriately to a family member's concerns, a child's concerns, I know I've missed this, but I found when I've done that, it cools the frozen ice in the relationship. You might have a child right now who you're on the outs with, and I can assure you that they don't feel heard. They don't understand that you love them and that you care about their interests and their needs. And sometimes it's just a matter of saying, hey, I'm here. Let me just listen. I'm sorry if I haven't. I'm sorry if I have not given you the personal attention because I know you need it. Not only for you to grow, but for our relationship to remain steadfast and to grow together. Take a moment to just listen and intently listen and listen without any distractions. Actively listen and acknowledge and walk in a position of humility as a parent. Say, I don't always get it. I'm sorry. Let's find a way. Each person has a unique challenge. Some struggle with school. Some struggle with some relational issues or even within the family. Some are looking and don't have a sense of purpose. Take the time to get to know each of those needs and understand that there are individual circumstances that need tailoring to really support accordingly. You say, Nate, that sounds like a lot of work. Yes, it's a lot of work because that's what we do as leaders. However, it's not work that has no value. It's worthy work because we're investing in individuals to help transform in meaningful ways. So for some, it might mean helping with schoolwork. For others, it might be offering a safe space to talk about problems, providing emotional support. And so sometimes all it is offering guidance and mentorship through this individualization and helping our family to see their potential, to work toward their goals. Sometimes the kids, they don't see their potential. I didn't when I was a young person. It took mentorship for me to really truly see what's possible. And that's what we're doing as leaders. We're painting a picture. We're painting a picture of a future state that's attractive, worthwhile, and achievable. But it takes personalization. It takes personal attention to help people feel seen and valued, and in turn motivates them to engage in such a way that promotes their personal development and their growth, and they need it now more than ever. Be a beacon for them. Be a way to give them a sense of meaning and purpose and value and hope. You might say, Nate, boy, if I focus on all these individual needs, it might divert the few resources I have from my own journey as a leader. I get it. We live in a very marginless world. We're always running hard. We're going from thing to thing to thing. And sometimes we have to take a step back. In my own journey as a leader, I'm always going. And I was just having a conversation with my spouse just today. I want to start slowing down a bit to where I can really impact more, do less, and give more my best. Because I believe that there is so much value where we can provide opportunities for others to grow, including ourselves. Grace and margin, friend. I mean, it's power when we're on this transformational leadership journey. If we truly desire to walk in a way that goes beyond the transaction into true transformation, we can impact. We can make such an impact in individual lives, organization, our lives. We combine all of these aspects of transformational leadership: idealized influence, inspirational motivation, intellectual stimulation, with this last breath of individual consideration. Man, we're talking growth, we're talking innovation, we're talking commitment. All these stories illustrate how this transformational model based on relationships drives us forward, drives us to depth and meaning. And we can do this. We are part of the strengthening. We value each person. We help them to realize their potential. And then what do? We build resilient, innovative, cohesive organizations, families, communities. In the end, transformational leadership is not just about inspiring and motivating. It's about understanding and supporting the people who make those inspirations a reality.